The G'day USA Gala has put Australia on show in Los Angeles for the last 11 years.
To discuss its success, we're joined by our very own American in Oz, although I think she's about to become, or is
getting there.
Getting the process of becoming an Australian. Sarah James joins us. Sarah, good morning.
Great to see you and
Happy
welcome
Australia
back.
Day.
Happy
Thank you
Australia
very much.
Day to both of
Happy
you.
Australia Day.
I should ask you on Australia Day, where are you in your campaign
in the process,
to become an Australian? What does
in
that
the
mean?
process, sort of held up with paperwork. We've
Really?
been doing 5,000 things. This is not, we do not blame the Australians for this.
Okay.
The blame sits right here.
Get your forms
so
in,
this
will
is
you?
my year. My daughter, my almost 14-year-old daughter goes, Mom, hurry up. You have to become an Australian. I'm like, I will. It's coming. So I'll tell you what,
now.
I'll let you know.
Yep.
And yes.
You're an
I'll be
honorary
very
Australian
excited.
to us anyway.
Well,
so.
I can't wait to become real and official and, with a stamp of approval.
That's what we need.
Stamp
Yes,
saying,
exactly.
Bonza.
And
Bonza
a passport. But in the meantime, I can definitely talk about both. And I've been thinking about Australia Day. And of course, we mark it here with barbecues. I'm going to one later today. But I was thinking back to when I was in New York, and I got a note from NBC that only essential personnel need to report for work at 30 Rockefeller Plaza because of the huge snowstorm. So I think the barbecue in New York is out. But nevertheless, when we were in New York, we definitely would always mark it. And one of the most fun things was when G'day USA started. And I remember going in 2006. Now, John Olson, who was the Consul General in Los Angeles, started it in 2004 out in LA. And then he moved to New York and became the Consul General in New York. And he brought it with him. And you're looking at some photos of last year. It's become bigger and bigger. And this has become quite an event. It's in 8 cities across the United States. And there's all kinds of things. Of course, it's a great opportunity to see famous Australians. And they've gotten very savvy this year, by the way. They're combining the ACTA Awards as a centerpiece of the big gala on the 31st in Los Angeles. So they'll basically give out these awards. And not surprisingly, look at all those great stars. But, they're picking Sexiest Man Alive. And, of course, I nominated you, Michael.
Thank you.
But I do think People magazine has picked Chris Hemsworth. So they're going to be honoring Chris.
So Hugh Jackman's been thrown over.
Well, I think as long as you portray a superhero,
yeah.
then you're Australian and you come to the United States. Fame and fortune are yours.
I'd vote for him.
One thing I wasn't aware of, is that, as you just mentioned then, is that it's celebrated or noted in a number of cities around America.
Exactly.
What's the point of it? Is this a trade event?
It is. It is partly a trade event. It's basically, the notion is, let's get some tourism flowing Australia's way. And I think it works on a number of levels. So, for example, it is definitely trade. There's going to be a big digital event on digital security in San Francisco. Yeah. And this is an opportunity for cross-pollination for companies. So basically, we all know about all the hacking stories that have happened this year. So there are ways that companies are saying, look, we can work with you in the financial sector and health and human services, all kinds of ways. So that happens. And very importantly, it's an opportunity, I think, in the United States to broaden our understanding of Australia and Australians and what this, powerful and dynamic country can offer. So here are a couple of things. And let's go to Texas, for example. Big events in Houston. And, for example, they're going to have cricket and netball on display. Now, this is the home of football. So I'm not saying that suddenly every Texan is going to be playing netball. No, that's not going to happen. But it's an opportunity for sporting events, cultural events, and business events to be showcased.
And you've been catching up with John Olson, the man who started this. He must be cock-a-hoop. It's been so successful over these past 11 years.
It really has over the last 11 years, and I had an opportunity to talk to him, and here's what he had to say about the success of it.
We originally thought it would have a shelf life of between 3 and 5 years, but the repetition year after year has consolidated the message, and the constant reinforcement of that message in the market has really built a foundation now for continued growth in the tourism numbers to and from the US, maintenance of those numbers, and also creating opportunities for advanced research and collaboration between Australian companies, partnerships with the US.
And John also told me that it has created a spike in tourism. They can see that every year, and that helps out carriers like Qantas. Have a listen.
Qantas ticket sales to Australia spike in the month of January and February when there's this big profile on Australian activities in the United States. And that is a very clear indication that the program works. It reaches a broad audience. and it creates the opportunity for us to market Australia.
Yeah, look, it clearly has been an incredibly successful event. It is a little mysterious, though, to us Australians back home. We can't quite see what it's all about.
You can't see it. Well, here's another way in which I think it works. I think it has an interesting ripple effect. So let me give you an example. It's not so much necessarily that the event itself is getting covered, although that happens. But I think what happens is you bring all these journos, and then later on there's a cool story, and suddenly popping up is a story about an Australian cafe in New York that's serving flat whites and avocado smashes, Bluestone Lane Cafe, and suddenly the flat white. Well, I think those things are connected. In other words, I think getting a greater understanding of all the facets of Australia. Now, listen, New York always says best coffee, but that's, you know, we got to find out about whether or not Aussie coffee can
flat
contend.
whites over there are fantastic.
They're spectacular.
Any Australian coffee's got to be better than American coffee, and I'm not even going to let you respond to that. I'm just going to gavel you
You're going to leave
In the
that
interests
where
of
it is.
Australia-US relations,
Exactly.
keep it
Sarah,
fairly
it's nice
I'm
to
going to
see
leave
you.
it simple.
Have a good
Always.
Australian
Bye.
day.
See ya.
Thank you.